Okay, so I'm Joss Whedon.
Okay, and I'm David Solomon.
He directed this episode. I wrote it.
Yeah.
I made the words up. I remember this. Flying out all the way out to Istanbul was really, really exhausting.
It was a very warm night there, and the people were very hospitable. I liked it. The food was a little strange.
It like comes in a napkin-y thing.
Yeah.
This is what, Universal?
It is.
This is Universal,
Universal backlot.
where we shot everything that we ever shot, including the opening sequence of the second episode, which is very similar to this one.
But then we threw that away.
We threw it away and shot a new one because it was too similar to this one.
Let's talk about this girl. Don't you love her?
I don't know. I never met her.
Oh, she's just great. She's actually just I shouldn't say just, she is a stunt woman. We were looking for an actress to cast, and she came in. She did such a great job, and she was very good at all this acting scared stuff, and I just loved her.
It's amazing how people can't do that.
It is.
You'd be just shocked. And I'm not talking about some people. I'm talking about actors who come in to read. It's like scared. Maybe if you opened your eyes wider and made a noise.
Thank God that pipe was there. She would have never made it.
You know, this is like, not to be all deep and stuff, but this is absolutely the primal scene for me because it's everything that I made Buffy to get rid of, was the girl who couldn't get through it.
And there's our girl.
I remember her. She was on a show. Charmed?
Scooby.
And this is also our, this is, I think, probably the height of our laziness, the indoor graveyard. We built our own backlot graveyard. And
but it looks great.
The backlot graveyard was like 30 feet too far, and there was weather, and so...
It was night. Nobody wanted to work at night in the first episode of the season.
Yeah, so we built the indoor one. I think it came out really nice, though.
It came out great. It unfortunately spoiled everyone.
Yeah, well, a little late for that. I mean, go team. I like this fella.
I did too.
This is the old, subvert the moment thing that, we try and do at least once every first episode. It's, like, what was it? The beginning, when she went to college and the vampire gets out of the grave and she completely doesn't see him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you got to have at least one moment that says, no, we're not taking ourselves that seriously.
And even his threat just lasts for a second, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I like this whole idea of Michelle finally learning how to be a slayer after all this time.
Well, not a slayer per se.
No, a fighter.
Yes. And power and using it and sharing it, that really is what the whole season is about.
And she was very into this. She started to work out and train and do all this fighting stuff. It's good for her.
Oh, no, they love it at first.
Yeah.
They all are like, let me do as many of my own stunts as possible. And then after about 3 episodes of doing that, they're like, let me...
Sit here.
Yes, I could do the close-ups.
We threw Michelle to the ground several times this day.
Yeah.
She liked it.
Yeah. She died at one point, had to be revived. That was weird. Come on. Here we go. Now, who was doubling Sarah at this point? Was it Melissa or Michelle?
God, I don't remember. Michelle.
Michelle.
Of course, I say that, and I'm sure it's Melissa now.
Right.
Nice. For the first dusting of the year.
And a beheading at that.
Nice. This graveyard looked great.
Yeah, no, it came out great. Well, you shot it pretty well, too.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. How many did you shoot?
20?
20.
21?
20, 21. You, me, and James Contner shot the most.
Yeah.
I came in last. I only did 19. I'm lazy. What can I say?
Yeah.
What can I say?
You should really work harder.
I feel guilt. But you were our best shooter.
Thanks.
You're our best shooter. I'm saying this, actually, I'm hoping they'll cut it because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, now I have to go out and buy this DVD set just so I can play that over and over and over.
Yeah, but we edited the presentation, the god-awful presentation together.
It wasn't god-awful.
Well, okay, well, it was awful. Maybe there was less God. I don't know. But, and then, so you've been through more of this than any non-writing person.
Oh, man. It was fun.
Yeah, really?
It was.
I mean, yeah. Oh, fun.
Was I talking to you? Was it?
Go team.
Hey, there's our principal.
Yes, and our new school, and our don't speak over black. Yeah, and our what's the most terrifying thing I could reintroduce at the opening of the teaser would be school.
That's great. I love DB. Can we be allowed to talk over the main title? Somebody wave. Okay, good.
Good.
Emma.
Emma.
I'm just going to say their names as they come along.
All right.
I don't know who that guy is.
That one's Michelle.
Yeah.
This is the kind of in-depth commentary you're not going to get anywhere else.
No, that's right.
He was a guy. He was on the show at some
I
point.
heard he's going on Angel.
Yeah. The many hairstyles of Ali Hannigan. Hey, look, me. That's really cool.
You look different in person.
Okay. England, my England. I forgot about this. Bucketing rain. Took them an hour to fix the crane, because it always takes them an hour to fix the crane. But we went to England, and by God, we were going to shoot it. And it was just pouring through all of this.
You can't see the rain at all.
You can't. And then it got completely sunny, and shooting in Bath. This is actually on Tony's front lawn. Apart from that shot you saw on the horse, everything we did in England was done on his front lawn or in his foyer, because it was just bucketing rain. And she was freezing.
Really?
Freezing.
Wow. It's a nice front lawn. Looks just like mine.
Yeah, yeah. Not so much.
No, I can't see the rain. They both look pretty happy to be there, though. They look very mellow.
I'd forgotten about this whole second unit thing that I did, because Tony was back in Bath, and I'd been to his place. I knew he had a great place, so we could shoot there or somewhere around there. The other shot on the horse is actually at the horse farm that he and Sarah, not Sarah Michelle Gellar, his Sarah, own. And I was just like, all we need is Allie and some camera people, and we can get great production values.
So basically, it's just an excuse for a free trip, though, right?
I don't know what you meant. I was talking about production values.
Oh.
I clearly care about art and
And party, a big party.
we were all.
Yeah, first class travel. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. All that's nice.
It was about the art, man.
And England, look how pretty.
I know. Well, not in close up. But
Bangers and mash. Does anybody know what that is? Do you know bangers and mash are? You lived there for all those years.
yeah, it's sausage and potatoes.
I don't know that much about.
I like this. I like Allison coming back, Willow coming back this season, and being strung out like this and on the road to recovery.
It was very important. There was, we knew buying back, I'll destroy the world and flay a guy alive, it was going to take a little time.
Was that her first human that she killed?
Yes. Good times. Good times flaying him alive. This is exactly what I'm not supposed to do with commentary, to sit there and go, they're so pretty.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I
They're
love them so much. But she does look great. And any mention of Harry Potter always makes me happy. This was something that, I had never intended to be, just over. They were going to have the horse and be looking off, and she wouldn't give that line just to him. And, it just didn't work out.
And then it rained.
And then it rained and didn't and did.
Ooh, why does this look so jumpy?
Oh, that's just the vid. It'll be fine. And, check out Grown Up Nikki.
Grown-up Xander in a suit.
Me
in
again.
a real car. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Let's watch the beauty of no editing here. Look how great this is.
This incredible shot. Who was on steady?
I have no recollection. Probably Bill Brummond.
Probably.
See how the camera's not moving at all? That's Bill Brummond.
Yeah, I know. He's the steadiest man alive.
You know, that kitchen served us well all those years. Nice
All
layout.
those years. That house, the foyer that gradually got bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Like the universe, it expands.
Go, talk with your mouth full.
I've got 2 crews working on this.
There it is, the end of the cool Steadicam first shot. I like that. That was really, you know, I love to use a shot for as long as possible without being Brian De Palma and just like, I can Steadicam forever.
Yeah.
Just having a frame that's useful for a wicked long time and knowing that your actors can get through it.
You know what? I think they like it. I think they like doing more of a chunk of a scene.
Yeah.
Not just so they don't have to do coverage, but I think it plays a little better.
Well, it's the thing that you're missing in film. That the energy of the progression of, like we go through the thing instead of just okay, let's turn around.
Right. And TV does this traditionally close up master.
Yes, TV traditionally is radio with faces.
Gee, they all grew up this year.
Well, the writers didn't, so we figured somebody had to. This, I always thought was a mistake. The box is too small, bro. Why would she say it's a weapon when it looks exactly the size of a cell phone? Not to give anything away. Oh, I feel bad now.
Oh, man. Can we go
Yeah.
back and reshoot that?
No,
It's
yeah,
too late.
I'll be like that the whole time. I'm just going to, rag on you.
They did nasty jokes on the scene, right, though, during the rehearsals, I can't tell you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, legally you can't tell me during
You
this.
see what I mean?
That's too bad. But this was our new school. Now, where was this? We were out of Torrance.
This is Northridge, CSUN.
Right. No, it's not. Sunnydale High.
Oh, yeah, right. And we picked this location and scouted it for days and weeks, and then they decided to tear apart the entire back lot behind us there.
The construction, yeah.
Uh-huh.
When I shot the last episode, I had to avoid the construction too. It was kind of like. Here we go. DB.
DB.
Now, DB Woodside, who we knew, the character, Principal Wood, a lot of fun because still didn't know what we were exactly doing when we even cast him. What did he say to you?
He was very curious about this. He came to me and said, "So, am I good or am I bad?" And I said, "Well, it's a fine question. Let's talk about it a little bit." And we came up with the idea of just being very charming all the time and make people wonder. And it really worked for him.
And when we wrote the script, actually, when I wrote the script, I never used any pronouns because we didn't even know if we wanted him to be a man or a woman. And that's why I gave him the name Robin, because I was like,
I never knew that.
Yes, you never hear he or she. It's always Principal Wood walks away or whatever. That's one of my favorite Michelle moments.
Yeah, she's great.
She's very charming there. But so we, man, woman, we pretty much decided he was a man by the time we cast DB, because look at DB, what a man.
And better for her love interest.
And good, but with a side of shady. That was where we wanted to take him. So, but we were always not telling actors. We never told Ben and Glory they were each other. Never told them. They found out in the script.
You know what? It works.
Yeah.
It worked because it always kept him on his toes about what was going to be his lot in life.
Mm-hmm. This is one of those things where, we do a little suspenseful moment and you shoot it and it's actually suspenseful. And I'm always impressed by that because it's amazing. We have this brightly lit set. We have, which, to me still wasn't quite lived in, but since it was a new school, it kind of worked for this first episode.
Yeah, we changed it up pretty quick. This was the first time we ever shot in there.
Mm-hmm. And this was the classroom, which was back where the classroom had been, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Say again?
It's where we had originally had the classroom when we were in
Exactly.
Sunnydale
It's
High.
on the exact same location where Buffy's classroom was, right?
Yes. Just dressed a little differently.
Yep.
But, all of this bathroom stuff and the suspense, it's so amazing how much you can write this stuff and then get zero suspense in the frame from a director. Being mistaken for a mom. Phlebotinum.
Meat.
Hey, how'd they do that?
It's unbelievable how fast that woman went away. Is she a stunt woman? Don't get me wrong. It was a very scary moment, but he was still doing cats.
Here's Michelle in high school. Who would have thunk?
It's just nice to see her, in, self-confident mode and starting to blossom. Because she'd had such a rough year the year before.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that she whined a lot, but...
She had a rough year.
Not Michelle, Dawn.
I know.
Michelle didn't whine a lot.
No.
So Michelle wanted to wear this Argyle sweater. We had a lot of talk about this Argyle sweater, and she shows up with it, and it's great looking on her. And we go out to Northridge to shoot the exterior, and it's 110.
Dig thine own grave, actor person. It is a good sweater, though. So I guess if she has a voice like that, then he must have like a very deep baritone, kind of manly voice.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's interesting. Now I remember this is Kali, who was doing Noises Off in
that's right. We had to
New
fly
York
her
on
out here
Broadway.
for a day. She had
to shoot her for 3 different episodes.
right
in
and
one
then
day.
and she got in a plane and went right back.
Yep. It was Sunday.
Yep. No, it wasn't Sunday. I don't think. No, it was a weekday.
If it wasn't a Sunday, it must have been a Monday because, it was literally the day they don't do
Right.
the performance. She's great.
She's damn funny. You know what? The two of them are very funny.
Yeah.
Emma, natural comedian.
Yes, one of the most natural comedians I've ever worked with.
I have to mention Mrs. Cholgosh.
Getting her to pronounce Cholgosh was...
I know
very-
that was a toughie.
And, that's a reference to somebody else's joke. I think Jane's joke from a long time ago about Emma. Anya talks about making a man fall in love with President McKinley. And Leon Cholgosh shot President McKinley. So it was a reference to one of Jane's jokes that not even Jane understood because her knowledge of assassins is not as based
As deep as you might think.
Yeah, it's weird. Who doesn't know who shot McKinley? What are they teaching kids nowadays?
This episode was nice the way it reintroduced everybody's deal in the show. It was nice. It was a good first episode. I like this.
I think you could have done better. You were phoning it in.
Oh, well, I didn't say I was.
Don't get me wrong. Your England sequences were amazing.
Yeah, I meant the script was great as well. I was trying to say.
Look at. Does the place pass inspection?
Oh, it's great. If you're a zombie ghost thing.
Okay, I didn't like this scene. Having said all that, I really didn't.
You
like
didn't?
This. No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, sometimes you just.
But Xander pulls off the suit. He pulls off the hat. He is like a fella.
Yeah.
But they touched me, I think.
See the guy painting in the background?
Yes.
No damage.
What about him?
Just thought I'd mention.
Were you
him.
distracted by a shiny thing?
Well, we had to talk more about his painting than we did about anything else this scene.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. Good to know you're focused.
I'm on
on
top
what's-
of it, yeah.
What's important
I'm
when you're
completely-
directing. This is another thing that every year I come back with the same mission statement, which is let's actually do something scary. Because you get into this giant soap opera, and you love all your characters so much, and everybody's noble, and everybody's struggling, and everybody's in love, and there's not a lot of room for actual horror.
Scary.
Horror is the one thing I think the series has had the least of in its mix. But I love that moment, that pencil moment. That freaks me out.
It was good. And she was great. She just
No,
took a big dive.
Now, is there a cut in there?
There's no cut in there. It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, just because the door gets so close. Bathroom stalls, always good for action or horror. Or, going to the bathroom.
If you have to.
But that wasn't really her arc. That's, I think, one of the other reasons why horror wasn't a big part of the show is we pack the script so densely with dialogue and things going on that we seldom took our time to do a sequence like this, which is very visual, very slow, very based on scary, and also makes commentary nearly impossible.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Look at
I
him.
love seeing this footage because I wasn't there when you shot any of this, and which, again, means that I respect you more than pretty much any non-writing director I know.
Thanks.
Because with the trust, I'm just saying. But seeing DB's footage for the first time, I was just like, oh, this guy is going to get it done.
He is great, and all his stuff with Sarah was great. They were really good together.
They enjoyed each other a lot, too. Wow, this is a brilliant idea to circle them thus with the camera.
I think it was in the script, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the first guy who ever thought of that, circling them with the camera.
How'd you come up with it?
I don't know. When I invented film, I thought one thing I can do with this medium is camera circling. No, it was just, I was just like, I can't let their, conversation lose the tension that's going on in here. So let's just gussy it up a tad.
Make sure that these scenes play off each other.
Yes. And then it becomes pitch black, which in TV terms means
Sort
light
of dark.
blue. Yes. But through the floor, that stuff's great. That was so cool. So I hope I'm going to say that is in fact Tony's house. Again, my house in LA, not looking like that.
Not like that one.
No, weird.
Now, raining here? Not raining here.
Not raining. What happened was, it would stop. It would start to rain and stop raining within 5 minutes all the time. And so we'd be like, let's shoot this scene. And then we'd be like, oh no, run inside and shoot this other scene. Light everything, the rain has stopped. Okay, run back outside. Until eventually we were just like, okay.
They did these 3 scenes in 2 days, right?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of stuff.
2 days of shooting. Well, I had Tony and Allie, so I didn't have a huge amount of work to do in terms of getting them to the place. They're both, but then, we would just walk inside the house in between takes. His tiny foyer, I love that shot.
Look at
that. That house, was so old and dark and beautiful. I wanted to be in it. We had another scene that we shot in there that didn't make it into the cut because the show was too long.
Oh, that's right. Them leaving?
Yeah, a scene where she says, "You're going to make me leave, aren't you?" We had to cut it. But just the bunch of us going in for like tea and then coming back out in the rain and shooting some more.
Very civilized.
It was a good time.
And here we are stuck in a dark basement.
Yeah, I'm like, you can take the basement and graveyard stuff, and I'll take the pretty England.
The school board recommended I spend a little time reading your record.
But again, a dark basement that's actually dark and big and scary, and not that big in real life.
Not so big.
Like, you guys did a really good job with that, because the hellmouth and the basement and all that stuff, I didn't really see.
We just sort of designed a maze down there that we could keep walking through again and again, which worked out fine.
When I finally came down to shoot shows, and I was like, everything's so tiny. TV makes it bigger. You'd think I would have learned that.
Who are you?
Now these guys did great.
Yeah, they were really good.
They were really good. But everybody, on the internet was like, so these are the new guys, and we don't know how we feel about them, and what's going to happen with them. And I was like, well, actually, we just hired them for the one episode because we knew we were bringing in all the potentials.
Right.
So we weren't going to spend a lot of time with Dawn's friends and stuff. But every time somebody walks on, everyone's like, so is this the most important person? But these guys did just great.
But that's just what you want out of a guest star.
Yeah. And, again, underlit and actually scary.
How many of them are there?
3.
Will this ever end? Oh, that was it.
Yeah, in about 40 minutes.
Okay, it's done.
This was something we had avoided for 6 years.
Cell phones.
The cell phone.
I
We were
know.
like, it's going to make life too easy. I mean, we were discussing this in the very first season. And then we're just like, we'll just say they can't afford cell phones. And then this season we were like, they're taking their power back. I mean, that is literally what the season was about.
And Sunnydale finally got some cell phone towers.
Yes, they finally got reception. I actually shot my roundabout in the last episode in this exact same place because it's the place that's big enough for it. But I never even realized exactly where we were in the school.
It's
when
the
we first shot
intersection
this.
here. Of course, the other little problem we were presented with was after never having a cell phone, where does Sarah put it?
She never had pockets.
I know.
And somehow she would reach out a frame and pull out a cell phone.
Ouch.
And we never discussed the ramifications. There was talk about could she have like a leather boot pouch thing,
Yeah.
strapped to her, and it was just not the thing. People won't ask.
There's Buffy right there. You see a hole, you jump in it.
Exactly. I was gonna say that's. I love the rhythm of that. It's just like oh, a big gaping hole into hell, dude. That's just.
I better jump here.
The definition of a hero.
Look, her ears light up like that when you backlight her. Everybody's do.
I heard there was an actor they had to tape the backs of his ears because the light shone through them so much. I'm not saying who, so that we don't get into a legal issue.
Yeah, but we know who we're talking about.
And I'm not talking about Armin.
No.
Because they had that great lit-up ear shot in The Puppet Show, his first show in season 1. But no, there was another actor.
Dawn, I'm close by.
Remember that funny thing that happened on set this day? Why don't you tell them about it?
What was that?
I don't know, but I got nothing.
No, nothing really. Nothing funny.
Funny thing, people are always like, what's a funny anecdote about being on set? I was like, getting home early. It happened one time. We finished early. I mean, it's I mean, not that, people come in with good energy in the first episode. They're happy to be back usually. And, they're pumping it. But it's not like we're all just like, oh, the crazy laughter. It's like more like we have a huge amount of work to do.
Let's get it done now.
Yes.
But you know what? Everybody did come in with a really great attitude. This was kind of fun. This was a good episode.
Yeah.
Everyone came in happy, ready to work, ready to go back. This is good.
The thing about your 7th season is, everybody's kind of gotten over their bad selves.
Yeah.
And, everybody sort of realized, this is what we're doing. And, passions, are at an ebb. And, either people get boring, which you see on some shows, or they really get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And our guys really did. They always came to the party.
Okay, now did you get that?
They all moved back to the same place.
Yeah, I was never sure if everybody was going to get that, and sure enough, I watched it and went, I'm getting it. Okay.
Are you real?
We wanted it to be longer because, he was in a shaggy, crazy place. And then I saw this, and
We had a laurel wreath that went in it and took it out at the last moment.
isn't this where he is in a toga singing "We Are as Gods"? No, wait, that's
Another episode. We're shooting this whole scene, and it's very emotional, and they're really working hard at it.
yeah. No, they're both wonderful in it.
And I said to them both, the only thing Josh's going to say about this scene is his hair.
You're not wrong. You got me pegged. But then we got in here, and the backlight was taken off it, so he didn't look so much like Lana Turner, and we kept it in the dark and brought it down in the color timing, and he's so good.
It was great to have him come back completely mad.
Yeah. It's fun to be completely mad, and he brings such pain to it.
I'm staring at him like she is.
Yeah. And it's weird because you're dressed like her.
Hey, shh.
The trick about playing mad, I believe, is that you have to have a logic for everything you're saying. You can't just babble and giggle and do a thing, and there has to be an emotional reason for everything you're saying, even if it, you're saying the Kaiser is trying to steal my string, and James totally brings that. He totally, you know that he believed, and everything he said was actually to a point. In this and all of his mad scenes that I wrote, he, it was always very specific. It's like writing mad is like writing dreams. Like when I did Restless or writing poetry, it's like you have to just sort of evoke something without quite saying it out loud in a linear fashion. So James always understood where he was emotionally and really conveyed that.
And he stays in there. He gets in this moment and stays there for the whole episode. Mm-hmm. He comes back in the next one and stays there until you let him out.
Yeah. Well, he was getting kind of, skanky. I told you we're not supposed to sit here and go, look pretty.
Oh, sorry.
We know they're pretty. That's why we hired them.
Oh, yeah. Okay, see how his hair's matted down there?
See, now there it looks fine.
That's what we're talking about.
It looks fine.
We found the gel.
Yeah. This is, again, the kind of in-depth commentary.
Hair gel.
You just don't get. See, again, she put it in her mythical back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That
I
comes
think that's
and
where
goes.
it's slipped down through her rear and down her ankle. It's on the floor right now.
No. She has a back pocket.
Oh, that's right.
That not only fits a phone but makes it disappear in skin tight pants. I like that frame very much. We're behind him.
We paused just so we could all hear that loud because that's pretty funny.
This was actually one of the easier episodes to write, even though it was hard to work out the full bottom and whatnot. It's like knowing exactly what we're going to do at the end of the season, and knowing what I needed to set up, and just having them fall into it. It's so much fun to write them. It's so much fun. Their little banter, their thing. They're just no script is actually easy, but this one was they started talking, and I was like, okay, keep talking.
You keep talking, I'll keep writing.
Yeah, I mean, it's when it's like that, it's so much fun.
That's nice. It all very nicely flowed.
And coming up with bag foo is very important because
Bag foo was good.
we needed something in the episode that said, look, a different form of fighting, because like the horror, the fights can get short shrift.
It's true. That's the first thing to go. But it's nice to see that Buffy had another skill besides kung fu.
Besides a high kick.
Yeah. These people look great.
Yeah, good zombie faces. The old Evil Dead look. It just doesn't get better.
Zombies are always tough because they generally move slow. Not so interesting to watch them fight.
Yeah.
Okay, now Xander finds the hole. He does not jump into it.
He wants to fix it and make money. But, yes, you can learn a lot about a person by how they deal with a hole. Can we edit that? This is one of my favorite gags. Is it's like from the season before. Say goodnight, bitch. Goodnight, bitch.
Uh-huh.
It's like taking it and turning it around. And here we go with bag foo.
Now, this is mostly Sarah spinning this bag,
Yeah.
by the way.
Sarah can give you the footage.
Yeah.
Still, my favorite was her sword fighting,
Yeah,
which was
great.
really, really impressive.
But we brought people in to train bag foo, and it just kind of, we did a few days looking at it and thinking about it, and then Sarah just said, hey, let me try. And she went in there and started swinging it around and said, this looks better than what we've seen. Okay, I screwed up that moment. I admit it.
But, we saved it in the edit.
Okay, thank
In
God.
fact, isn't that your nickname?
Yes.
Saved it in the edit.
Fix it in post.
What are you gonna do? Kill us?
You have a talisman, you solve the problem, because ultimately that's not what's interesting. At least not to me. What's interesting is that Spike told her and she didn't tell anybody about it. So she's back to her old tricks of lying and deception.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go find a... I don't know. Seems smaller.
I just love that because it's a high school thing.
School's intense, but you'll do all right as long as you're careful.
And you'll be regulars, just like, oh no.
You are the coolest mom ever.
They were great. They did a good job.
Oh, hey.
I love Sarah playing that moment. Also, Sarah, you know, always counted on her Hamnu.
Uh-huh.
When you write a word like Hamnu, you don't know what the actor's going to do, and she totally sells it.
Encounter.
I'm waiting on my Hamnu.
I know you're
Yeah.
probably more than happy to get out of this place.
I think he loves her.
Hamnu?
Oh, there's Hamnu.
Almost talked over it.
So
Didn't,
Hamnu
Sam the AD actually had a Hamnu written on his hat.
had a hat that said
Now, why
Hamnu.
is that?
It was given to him because he thought this was the funniest word ever. He started to use it for everything. And every time somebody would talk to him, he'd go, Hamnu?
Yeah.
And so they had him a hat made for him. And you know, it was a joke that didn't die all year.
Well, I didn't see the hat until he was my AD on 22.
Oh.
And I was like, what? You have a hat with that word on it. Usually it would be Dien, D-Y-E-H, and with an apostrophe.
Hamnu came from where?
My brain
Uh,
came from inside, where it's squishy.
so here's we're setting Buffy up for her job.
Yep.
She's got her office next to him. They can
It's
keep
all
an eye
about
on
the
each other.
school. And of course, then we would find out that it wouldn't be all about the school because we'd have to spend a lot more time in the house than we expected to, so that we would all learn to hate the house the way we used to hate the library
Oh, we
and the
did.
magic shop and wherever all the exposition had to take
We
place.
did. That's exactly right. We did.
That's the worst thing. Now this, I'm sorry, was cool. It was so cool to get them all here.
It was fun.
Because they all bring such different qualities, and there was no better way to say this is the last season by summing it up by bringing in everybody, and the fact that they all made the time. I remember we had to shoot Harry like weeks after we
Weeks
shot
later,
everybody else,
because he was on play.
he was also doing something on Broadway.
It was great to bring back all the bad guys. We had all worked with them,
That's an amazing morph too.
was
They
great.
got from her to him and
Yeah.
didn't look silly.
and he's a foot and a half taller.
He's a foot and a half taller than anybody.
It's just great because they're all such very different characters, and it's told a
It was
lot.
fun to just write all their voices, but and just to say this is it.
You get your soul back and everything would be Jim. Soul's
This is
slippery.
the way. I mean, I've been saying anybody who didn't get this is the last season after this scene
Yeah.
is missing the point. Harry, one of my all-time favorite actors to work with.
He's got funny hands though for a man.
That was cutting again.
Oh,
Remember
oh.
I explained to you how sometimes there's editing.
Oh.
You go from one. It's a complicated process. I don't mention it in the commentaries because it's too confusing to the layman. And I love that that's his first line because he was our first guy.
He was, and you know what? I think the fans love this part. I love seeing him.
Yeah,
again.
it was great to see Mark again. We wanted to see more of all of them, but time and money didn't permit. And we ended up having Sarah play the first more than anybody else. But
But that worked well. I like that. I
Yeah.
like Sarah playing the first. It was
Well, it
great.
worked very well thematically at the end. She faced herself down and got rid of her demons and all that.
It's about power.
Hey.
She said that before. Maybe that's what this season's about.
No.
Now we dance. Now's the time on Buffy when we dance.
Who are all these people? What do they do?
You know, some of them worked on, I don't know. I just remember trying to fire some of them. And
You were successful here and there.
well, I managed to get rid of everybody this year. At the end of this year, I finally I said, get everybody's fired. Including me. The end. Were we dull or what?
Was that dull?
Oh.
Was that dull?
Oh my God.